Hey everyone, welcome back to Play Casket, where the woke guards are starting to target us, no matter how small we are, and we're still surviving. But may they rest in peace. Kevin Struck.
He will be known. Have a good. He will be known for his. I don't know where this is going.
Dank streams. dank streams.
Apparently, Digimon is illegal.
Digimon is officially illegal.
That's
a Pokemon
exactly what
happened.
world. This is a Pokemon street.
You peeked your last shoe, Mon. Alright, so this week, a lot of crazy crap has happened.
Holy shit, what a year.
2023 is off to a great start, guys. Let me tell you. But yeah, we were like saying calm before the storm for like what, 3 weeks? Like it's gonna happen. Oh shit, it happened now. What? Okay. So basically, Wizards of the Coast became the Grand Wizards of the Coast and decided that all your favorite games belong to them now. And then,
all your games belong to us.
And then Ubisoft decides to blame everyone else but themselves for their own stupid decisions. And we're going to go ahead and just crack all that open. Let's go ahead and start with Ubisoft. Basically, from my understanding, stocks plummeted.
Yeah.
Big surprise. Everybody's stocks are plummeting.
Well,
but they're saying like for some reason stocks are just special in the Ubisoft world.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think the issue is that it's falling faster than they can recover, I guess. Because most of the time, like when you see a certain dip, you're just kind of like, oh shit, this is kind of. Like this is par for the course, but I think this is falling lower than what they want. Also, I think this is also when people start dumping to get ready for March. I just remember that.
Just like the fiscal year.
Yeah.
They're dumping it. Obviously, they've seen some struggles that Ubisoft has had with both Just Dance 2023 and Mario and Rabbids being the major like holiday releases. Struggling when it's compared to quite literally Pokemon existing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Pokemon and Splatoon 3 just dominated for Nintendo's end. So that right there already tells you something. Then you have a whole habit that Ubisoft likes lowering their prices within a month's time for games.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people do that all the time. With Ubisoft, they just wait until something comes out or the gold edition of the game comes out, and DLC hasn't even came out like complete yet. So people are just waiting for that. I'm still waiting for that like complete edition of the first game, so I could have the Donkey Kong on cart instead of some stupid digital code, because that's garbage. But at the same time, you also got to look. France is not doing too hot financially either.
Is that where their HQ's at?
Yes. And for the most part, when you think about it too, and I don't want to get too political, but like look around you, stocks are plummeting everywhere. People just use particular stocks to bludgeon people over the head with.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to take that. The fact inflation's hitting like an all-time high, and policies are just garbage, and just like everything going forward, like the plummeting, even if it's a very stark, noticeable one, it's almost expected because of the situation we're in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think, like, if it continues this way, I don't think Ubisoft will be around in the way it was. Who knows? Maybe what's-its-face just buys it up like they buy everything else. So, because that way
Microsoft, right?
Oh. I could see that. I could literally see that. I could literally see that.
Now, what was that really big company?
Something.
Embracer?
Embracer, yeah. Embracer Group. I could see Embracer Group buying them up too.
Swooping them up, yeah.
Let's be honest. I think Embracer Group would be better between the two, because let's be honest, Microsoft, Embracer Group will still embrace like physical media.
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft is trying to just shove everything they can into Game Pass, sell you Game Pass, and then get to control what you play.
Yeah.
Like, right now, everybody's like, it's so great. They're not doing anything wrong. I don't see... Well, it's because they don't have enough people to get away with it yet.
Yeah.
You know? Let's be real. The moment they have enough people where several people are just like, oh, I really can't turn around now.
Oh, which also reminds me about Sony when they were they're getting the FCC to block it.
Yeah.
They're only including themselves. They don't give a shit about Nintendo.
Yep. That's the whole point. Like everything is about the whole control. Like the mask is slipping on literally everyone right now, and it's freaking everybody out. But anyway, going back to Ubisoft, looking at all of it, I think they will probably just get bought up eventually because they are terrible at handling themselves at all.
Yeah.
Like they never, like honestly.
Well, they can't decide. The only thing that's really like, what is it? Assassin's Creed. The only thing that's like people are really hyped for, because
well, even then
the Far Cry stuff's pretty okay.
The Far Cry stuff is very hit and miss, and when it succeeds, it succeeds. Rayman's kind of middle ground, even though a lot of people do have a fan favorite of it. It's majority of the people who buy Nintendo stuff, so like they're releasing on like the other platforms. It piddles.
Yeah.
You know, like nobody's buying a PS5 to play Rayman Legends 2.
Yeah.
You know, where like that's not what they want. They want like Call of Duty Extra or whatever nonsense. And then they have Rainbow Six? Technically they have all of Tom Clancy. They have all. They could even do Splinter Cell. They could do another Splinter Cell right now, but they don't. They could even port the whole original series as a collection, but they don't. Like, there's some stuff that they can at least save face with, having like properties like that, but they struggle. Hell, they can even make an adventure game with the rabbits. God forbid, but that would probably be cheaper than pumping what? It was like 27 million a year for 4 years into developing one game and releasing it.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Like, that's a lot of fucking money.
Yeah.
You know, that is insane. So them just like, and then they do go, well, if you all just bought this. Dude,
yeah, I hate when they do that shit.
Get off your high like this, like Ubisoft does this a lot similar to how Namco keeps asking people, well, if you buy the game and tell the world that you like it and share it on your social medias, then maybe I might flip a coin to find out that maybe I might think about it, kinda.
Yeah, it's never enough.
Like, it's never enough for Namco every time. Like, they're just
like they did that with fucking what was that one? Beyond Good and Evil.
Yeah.
Because what was that? There's a game that came out before it. Everybody was like praising up and down, and they're like, well, if we get more Watchdog pre-orders, maybe it'll come out faster. Like shit like that.
Yeah. Like, and it's just the most manipulative. It's like fucking snaky and slimy, and it's just, no, it's gross. It's dumb. You know? Like, and you could be like, hey, look, you know, the thing is, like, even if Watch Dogs sold immensely, let's say it's multi-million, you really think that they're gonna be like, well, Watch Dogs sold 32 million copies this year, let's go ahead and do Rayman? No, they know they could get 32 copies at least on a new Watch Dogs game. Do you really think they're going to do a Rayman game after that? No. Look at Intelligence System. After they made Fire Emblem Awakening, what have they done recently? Fire Emblem, Paper Mario, Fire Emblem, Paper Mario, Fire Emblem. Do you not see a pattern here right now?
Yeah.
Like, they made only two other games, one of them being Codename Steam, which of course I'm gonna bring up. And then, like, they just assist with other things sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's been Fire Emblem. Why not? Because Fire Emblem sells now. Fire Emblem is becoming a huge titan for Nintendo. Granted, not as fast as like Splatoon and stuff, but do you really think that like 32 million copies, 4 million copies, 17 million copies, any of that would actually have them go, yeah, we should definitely release Beyond Good and Evil now? No, they won't. They'll churn out and they will keep churning and beating that corpse until it's dead, until it's like, oh, it only sold 4 copies. I guess nobody wants Beyond Good and Evil 3. You know, like, let's be real. Like, they're going to leverage that way.
Yeah.
It is the worst, scummiest crap. And anybody who actually sits back and thinks about it, let's be real, they wouldn't go, oh, well, since they sold so well here, they're gonna do it again. And again, and again, and again. Look at EA. EA's done it multiple times. You know? They're like, oh, we have unsurmountable partnerships. Oh, well, we're gonna release a game on Nintendo, but they didn't sell enough GameCubes. Oh, we were at least going to release it on Nintendo, but it's not powerful enough. Oh, we were going to release it on Nintendo, but it just didn't sell them any. Oh, we're going to release it on a Nintendo, but no.
We're not buying it twice.
Yeah.
We're not buying it 3 times. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. Like it's just simply that way. And Ubisoft's trying to pull that crap.
What do you think is causing Ubisoft to like really struggle right now? Live services. I think it's like the live services stuff they're making.
Well, live services. When you think about it too, live services. There's so many live services because everybody's trying to just get your time because that way they can sell you more stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If you are on their game more and more, you are more likely to buy something, even if it's like piddly a couple bucks thing, or some kind of expansion or whatever, because you put so much effort into it. Look how many people still buy expansion after expansion after expansion on World of Warcraft. I did that because I want to see what's going on. I want to see where this train wreck has gone. I didn't pay attention to Shadowlands very much, but I want to know what's going on in Dragonflight. You know, like, I've spent so much time as a kid on it that I'm still spending money to see what it's like. You know?
Yeah.
So if they buy and like going that and applying that to like Ubisoft and everyone who wants a service game, because that way it makes them feel like they're losing money by not playing the game.
Mm-hmm.
Because I will give you $5 every month, even if it is for that $5, you're gonna be like, I don't want to waste my $5, and you go and play the game because you're worried that you're gonna waste your money not playing it. And then when you stop paying, you don't have access anymore.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I should have came back. It's worked on me again, World of Warcraft, and you got to think it's been working on a lot of other people. The thing is, so many people are doing it now that nobody really wants to go anywhere.
Well, I was just like, because like, I don't remember Ubisoft releasing anything this year. Like
they released a lot of
Immortal Phoenix.
Immortal Phoenix came out almost 2 years ago. It was actually a really good game. They even said that they're looking into making a sequel. It's not a bad game, honestly. If anybody has like some extra money, it's a cheap. It's $20 now, without any of the DLC.
Zelda
it's a
clone?
fun game.
Breath of the Wild clone.
Well, I wouldn't even say it's a Breath of the Wild clone. It has like it plays more like Genshin Impact than it does Breath of the Wild, as far as like mechanic controls and stuff like that.
It's a Breath of the Wild.
So that it's like that open world stuff, but it actually like it plays very well. I like it. The humor's in it's really good. I kind of wish it sold more so I could see it again.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, if it sold 1 million, if it sold 3 million, if it sold 3 million, we would see a sequel. We wouldn't see them work on a Rayman. Like, let's be real here. But at least that would happen.
Who else was the Starfield?
Oh, Starlink.
Starlink.
Yeah.
Oh man, dude, that was a black eye for them.
That was a huge black eye. Like, no matter what they did, like
they were like
so late to the toys. Like, honestly, if that game was released during the peak, it probably would have sold so much. But I think it would have actually tanked them even harder because they probably would have put so much money into it that when it tanked,
too?
It would have. No, we would have had like Starlink 3 by the time it would actually come out, if it came out at the peak. But Starlink 3 would probably have like been $27 billion in, and then like it sells like 3 copies.
Yeah,
like that's where I think it would have happened.
So I think Starlink also gave him a huge black eye, because I remember it sold like 10,000. They were able to track it too. That was like the painful part. I really liked the game. So, and then like all their I think it was a really fun mechanic. I thought it was a really fun idea. I think it was one of the better ideas as toys to life can be talked about. But there was just no way. Well, one huge major fault for it is there's no real reason to explore because you bought your weapons already.
Yeah.
So like, you could fight just for just so you could kill shit. But when you're like, oh, I gotta start digging into these little buildings so I could get weapons. Oh wait, I already bought them. Like, there's no need to look for weapons.
And I think I think that's one of those like ideas that, and I'm part of it. That part right there, I'm kind of glad it tanked because like Microsoft and EA tried to do like health potion cells and stuff like that
Yeah.
through microtransactions for like Dragon Age, I think it was Dragon Age and some other game.
Yeah.
And it was like, and they're like, well, why? And people are like, why should I do that? I could find them and craft them in the game. Like it would make sense, right? They're like, until we remove the ability for you to do that, and then people didn't want to play it anymore.
Fuck you, I'll just play it on easy then.
Like it's just like it's so dumb, and I feel like that was, I think it was probably like Ubisoft's swing into that.
Yeah.
So it was kind of it was dumb. It was beyond dumb, and yeah, no, I think they're just like Ubisoft does some weird things and then it fails, and then but they just keep leveraging the old crap. And the thing is, they could have easily like make a collection of this, like if they even did like a trilogy of the original Splinter Cell 3, 1, 2, and 3, and just up-resed it, people would buy that up in a heartbeat. I would, you know. But the thing is, they want people's time, so they just constantly churn out money. Because apparently, from my understanding, Rainbow Six actually did very well up until like the year after the lockdowns, because people were just playing it. You know, there's all sorts of ideas and stuff, and then once people stop playing it and there's more new games coming out and new systems and all that, Ubisoft just lost money. And then it just slowly continued losing money, and then they're like, oh, well, these other games are going to release very well, and they also tanked. And they're like, oh no, what are we supposed to do? Well, how about Rayman?
So,
but that and not blaming people for the failures. You just figure out what else is going on. Like they released a physical digital copy of Just Dance. That is dumb as hell. And they're like, well, technically it was a service game to begin with. Still has the base game. Dumb as hell.
Yeah.
Dumb. Anyway. Yes, that's all dumb.
On to the bigger news.
On to the other stupid, manipulative, nonsensical news. Grand Wizards of the Coast.
OGL 1.1. What a shit show. Holy shit.
Basically, open game license, meaning that if you made anything with that license, or anything that you could make a construct, even if you're not even like technically selling it, they want to monetize your ideas because it belongs to them. It reeks of the same, like, it's like not signing a contract and getting paid like Disney. Like if you work for Disney, all your art is theirs. Like if you sign on off of it, this is basically like that, but you're not getting paid.
Yeah.
Like basically,
well, this falls back to like the whole Dota situation when Steam said it was theirs, and then Blizzard said it was theirs because it was their assets, and then Steam was like, no, but so it's on our servers, or something like that.
No, it was basically Dota made a lot of customization with the base game that Blizzard had, which was it technically started off on StarCraft, but eventually became on Warcraft 3. And basically they just kind of adjusted many of the characters and stuff like that. Pudges being one of the abominations, being a good example. And they just changed characters, and it was like a huge popular mod that Blizzard was going to make, capitalize on that. And Valve bought, I think it was like Ice Frog, and he was one of the guys who helped design it and stuff. And they're like, well, no, we did Dota, so we're gonna that's the name, that's the license, not the genre, because that was gonna be a genre name. Blizzard's like, no, you can't use that because this uses our assets, and technically that's just a genre name, so Blizzard can use Blizzard Dota. That was originally the case. Valve wanted to just take the whole naming system, everything, and make it their own. Yeah. So between the two fights, technically Valve was more in the wrong, because they were going to try to manipulate what is now considered a MOBA, or massively online battle arena. Which honestly, I think battle arena just sounds better as a genre, but this MOBA thing just feels dumb. Like it's just adding more that you don't need to.
Well, I guess it also falls back to first person shooter. Everything was a Doom clone until somebody called it a first person shooter.
Yeah. So like they wanted to take the whole thing, basically, like everything about the mechanics and stuff like that. That's just MOBA over, this isometric combat arena 3-lane type of thing.
But
this is their thing. Nobody else can do it. Not League of Legends, not Blizzard Dota, not like they were more on the Grand Wizards idea of like everything about this genre is ours now.
Yeah.
And
they went to court.
Blizzard lost. Blizzard lost on the naming.
Oh, okay.
But they went to court with Riot, and they went to court with a couple Chinese companies and stuff too. And they eventually lost because they were trying to just basically say this whole gaming mechanic. It's like Capcom saying they own fighting games.
Yeah.
That's basically what they were trying to say.
So how this ties into OGL 101 is
basically what Valve was doing and how it ties into OGL is all these weird mod stuff that you do to Dungeons and Dragons and stuff like that. They make Pathfinder and like maybe even easier ones, or like Elmer and the Jackasses, or whatever other like tabletop RPG like exploration stuff. Wizards of the Coast and Grand Wizards of the Coast had literally said, all of this belongs to me now.
Yeah.
All of it. I can sell your characters. I own your characters. You can't do anything about them. Like,
they didn't come out and say it, but at the same time, like they created.
Read the terms of service.
Yeah,
they practically do.
I know, but at the same time though too, they didn't say we're gonna do it, but it falls along the lines of like, hey, we can do this basically.
Yeah, basically.
So if you make anything, they're just like, we don't like you, we're gonna take your shit.
So no, well, it's gonna be even worse than that. Basically, their terms of service. Ultimately, they said we're not gonna do anything about it, but if we did, we're legally binding to do so.
Yeah.
So if we allow it to happen, then they have precedent to continually do it.
Yeah.
But them saying, oh, we're not going to do it, but if we decided to, it should be well within our right to do anything we can to do everything. So essentially, they can go after Critical Role.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, let's put it in, if everyone who liked Critical Role in those characters, they're owned by the Grand Wizards of the Coast now.
Yep.
All of it. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if those characters were created uniquely, if they made new races and all that. Doesn't matter. Those races, ours. That character, ours. Technically, those voice lines for them that they played belongs to them because it was put into, quote-unquote, the game that they were making in Critical Role. So every time they played their character, every time they went and just went, baby, enemy, and all that, that belongs, those lines belong to
if they choose
Wizards
to.
of Coast.
Yeah,
if they choose to.
Which is
that's what they're trying to say.
Yeah.
That's where the terms of service is like, oh, well, if we ever choose. So basically, if there's anything that can make them a ton of money,
yeah,
they want in on it, basically. Yep. They go, whoa. You're selling this YouTube thing with Critical Role? That's ours, actually. You owe us some licensing fees.
Now, they didn't say they're coming after Matt Mercer, but
they're coming after Matt Mercer.
Because
let's be real.
That's
like,
the only thing I could think of, because it's like,
I think Critical Role is becoming, and some of us don't even like see it very often, but it's still immensely popular.
Yeah,
and it's still like really high class, and like everybody's excited about it, and it's like this marketing giant for tabletop games.
Yeah.
And Wizards of the Coast are like saying, I want all of what you're putting into this because it technically belongs to me. Because if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be anything.
Well, one thing that really baffles me is that like if you make over 70K, they want 25% of it. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't make any sense because how much Critical Role makes, I think it's like $500,000 to $2 million a month.
Yeah.
Or something like that. I can't remember. They looked at the numbers. It was like $1 to $2 million a month. Yeah. And like that's a lot. But he has like a whole crew. Yeah. So like if you split it up, like it's probably like $20,000 per person or something like. Yeah. Because he has like audio, visual teams, editing.
Wants all of that.
That's so ridiculous.
They believe they have rights to those characters just as much as they have rights. If we ever did a character. If we ever did some kind of thing that we played like a digital Dungeons and Dragons right now, and it got popular, you and I, like even our voices for those characters would be subject to to ownership to Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah.
That is essentially what the terms of service says. They're not saying, oh, we're not really going to go after it, but we're changing our terms of services, so if we decide to, they now belong to us. So they're basically trying to keep you kind of watered down, so it sets a precedent that they can do it later. And you're like, well, you weren't upset when we were turning on all these terms of services, and you were clicking accept. You were okay then. Yeah. Why are you okay? Why are you not okay now? So it really puts them in a legal position where your hands are tied and theirs are not, and they will beat the snot out of you until you have no money. That is essentially what that is.
I also think.
So we're gonna make our own tabletop game.
well, it's just ridiculous because I think it because it's so grassroots. It's not like I would understand if it was like Dota and Blizzard, because that was huge. Like that's a huge chunk. But with D&D and people just like on this, like you have these little creators who are just like making their own game and recording it on Twitch, and then people would subscribe to it.
Yeah, there's stories and stuff like that, but they're still using the baseline of D&D and their understanding of the D&D.
But when you grab all that money, like 25% of it, it's like $2 to $3 million probably. Like, it's not a huge industry.
But it's not just that. It's not just Critical Role. It is literally everyone. Like, even Pathfinder, they wanted to basically own and control Pathfinder, so any of their competition gets kind of wiped out. So they're just in control of all of that.
Well, it's also like that's also another thing about control is if they don't like you, like if you make a campaign where you're playing Nazi vampires, because like basically if you say something or do something that they don't like to, like if you're making a campaign and you're streaming it on Twitch and they're like, oh, they said something problematic, they could just nuke you.
And it's not even like problematic in the social construct world. It's problematic as in like saying, hey, look, Wizards of the Coast did, like my joke's a whole grand Wizards of the Coast are, that's bad for our name. That's problematic too. Yeah. What is that? Blue goblins? That's problematic too. What is that? White dude? That's problematic too. What is that? Capitalism? That's problematic too. They can easily just say something and just wipe it back out. Like, nope.
Yeah, I guess the biggest issue is that it's not very clear about what they do.
No, and that's and it's intentional. Yeah. Because then that way they could be like, well, technically we said that in quote unquote exact formation, whatever, of what they said in their terms of service. This is basically Wizards of the Coast version of how Activision, EA, Sony, even Capcom even did this, Sega even did this, back when indies started to grow, and how every company was like, no, you have to have an established business, you have to do this and this, like you have to have a publisher and all that to basically allow you to be a indie developer in the Wii PS2 era and stuff.
If you want anything on our storefront,
if you want anything on you would have to be solidified. You would have to have the balls to the wall. Like you have to have an impressive resume. And Activision and Sega and Microsoft and a couple others, just literally there'll be companies that they'll just buy up for a couple $1,000s and just wipe them out.
Yeah,
they'll just close them up because they didn't even want them to be competing. This is basically how the Wizards of the Coast is doing it. Basically, they don't want any grassroots, because now when you're looking at it, because of how high and popular Critical Role has been, Pathfinder's growing, D&D's growing, everything else is growing. And I think the reason why they became aware of this is because they made that licensing for that movie, and they're like, how come I can't do that? Technically, you don't really own it. And they're like, what? And they look at it and they go, oh, it's those little bastards. Okay, how can we control this so we can make more money off of movies we license to somebody else?
Which also makes me think they're trying to make their own Critical Role too. Because I could just imagine it too, where it's like these millennial androgynous people, and they're cringe as shit, and they're cool.
They look all vague, they act all vague, their whole thing's all vague, except for the enemy, which is very ideally evil and vicious and probably white.
But it's safe. It's very safe, and nobody gets upset, and nobody laughs, and nobody cries, because it's extremely clean and sterile. Yeah.
Gross. Gross.
So there is some good news that comes out of this. There's some good news.
This is why I'm very popular in Friday Meme More. I have I'm dirty. I'm dirty. But yeah, no, it's exactly. I feel like you're on the money with that. Like literally, I think that's exactly what's going on. Is they see a lot of ideas. Like these writers saw a lot of ideas that aren't necessarily belongs to Wizard of the Coast, but Wizard of the Coast is trying to find a way for it to belong to Wizard of the Coast, so they can license it out more.
Yeah.
What do you mean the Jagari or whatever race isn't ours? You made that on our thing. That's now ours. Now we're going to license it out to some movie out there, and they have 4 titties, and they could be licensed out, and we're going to make money off of what you made for us. Bravo. Yeah. Basically, that is essentially what is going to happen. So I mark my words, dude. I have never been wrong with this crap before. I've always been right, and I hate the fact that I'm right because I'm always negative about it.
Okay, but some good news coming out of this though is that most companies are protecting themselves, or at least like the players and everybody else is protecting themselves too. So first off, Paizo is basically creating their own kind of dice system, so they don't have to be so dependent on D&D. And then
like Paizo is like in charge of like the Pathfinder and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure everybody else too who did derive from D&D's tabletop dice system was gonna start making their own shit. And
this is basically how like it goes back to the same thing with the whole like indie thing. Eventually, there's going to be enough of other things that they just cannot financially sustain trying to control it anymore. Because other people will just start generating their own licensed dice system again.
Yeah, well, it's just like, can you imagine if they're like, you can't play chess with or you can only play chess with black and white pieces. If we catch you with blue or
gold
any other
or speckled or whatever,
we're gonna arrest you or we're gonna sue you. Like,
we're gonna sue the crap out of you because you're tainting the chess paradigm or whatever nonsense.
Yeah, so it's like. And us players can take the power back too by just telling them to fuck off because
basically,
nobody follows the rules anyways. Like, it's all house rules, and whenever you look at things, it's just like ask your DM. That's all it is.
Yep, and that's basically like honestly the most confusing part of the whole OGL 1.1 system is that like how can you like even people keep saying, oh, well, they're not going to be able to. Oh, I'm pretty sure they will because they have a shit ton of good lawyers.
Well, it's up in the air. That's the issue. Like, that's the issue is that, like, they're not going to be able to, sure, but can you fight it? That's the issue.
Yeah, because they have the money.
Yeah.
You don't.
Yeah.
Like, and what was it? What was the one company they got sued for It Takes Two? Oh, Rockstar. Rockstar sued It Takes Two.
What?
Yeah, because the name It Takes Two. Take-Two is the owners of of one of the of owners of Rockstar, and Rockstar just sues the crap out of them because you're not allowed to use Take-Two.
That's scummy as shit.
And so now that the game It Takes Two is changing their name eventually. I don't remember when that they're supposed to. And they also tried to sue the crap out of a tattoo parlor called Rockstar Tattoo. And they just sue them to a point where they cannot financially sustain it anymore, and then they have to change their name.
Yeah.
And it's like that is the most like that's basically where the situation would come in is how many of you are able to fight that because Wizards of the Coast has so much other crap.
So technically they can't do it, but
they're gonna do it.
But if they do it, can you fight it?
Yeah.
But at the same time too, another good news is that they did backpedal on it, and they're being like, we also won too, like. Basically, they backpedal on it.
That's not even good news. That's just them being scummier again.
Well,
like,
the thing is, like,
honestly, like that just tells them, like, oh, we like.
They're thinking about it. That's another thing. They like 1.0 is still standing right now. As of right now, this recording, 1.1 will come out soon, but it's still very vague fluff over this legalese. So don't trust them.
Yeah, it's just weird. But yeah, no. A lot of crazy, scummy, slimy, apparently it's all our fault type of news this week. Yucky. But I should probably stop it before we get into talks again. That goes...
and get us struck.
Get us struck.
And be struck casket.
Right. Struck casket. That's going to be happening. We're going to have on the second channel. This is called that. This is spicy posting. But I'd like to thank you all for listening. If you like our content, feel free to like, subscribe, and share. And as always, we will see you on the other side. Hey everyone, this is Paraka.
and Ghost.
I would like to say thank you for listening to our podcast.
If you like our content, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and share our video with your friends.
You can also follow and support us on other social media such as Minds and Rumble. Links in the description below.